So we're over here at the CRST terminal in Atlanta getting my new truck. So, new truck. New to me, we'll put it that way. So anyways, I told you guys that we picked, I got a choice to pick some trucks, and I picked some new ones, but they were all taken. Now I know the process they used to hand these trucks out. But there's a brand new 23 sitting right beside me. Fucking sweet. I didn't get that one. I got a 21 with 500,000. But I only got 27 payments of $465, which is 6 months. This bad boy's paid off. So in theory, come February 17th, I'll own this truck. I don't know if I'm keeping it. There's a couple things wrong with it. It's got 500,000, and there's a couple things wrong with it. So I looked it over really good. I spent a good hour, 2 hours looking this thing over. And there's a shock that's leaking. I think it's the passenger side front. So we're going in the shop tomorrow. I got a whole list of stuff. Actually, I'll just tell you what the list is. And I'll tell you why the reason I might not be keeping it. We'll find out more tomorrow, I guess, when they come out. But the driver's side mirror is broke. You can see I'm covered in grease. My hands are nasty. I've been out laying under this truck and this trailer for the last hour and a half, checking it out. I don't know a lot about trailers and trucks and how to check them out, but I've watched a good many videos. I'm basically doing everything they said to do, and I don't know what I'm looking for, but I kind of know what I'm looking for. So everything I think that's wrong has been written down. There's not a lot wrong for being a 21. There's not a lot wrong. The first thing I seen was on the outside of this mirror. It's a 21 Cascadia, just like my old one, except it's the 21 instead of the 23. Yeah, it's white instead of blue. The whole outside of the mirror, the whole plastic's gone, busted off. That's getting fixed. I ain't running around with a fucking broken mirror. Passenger side front shock's leaking. The whole shock's soaked, so it's leaking. That's got to get changed. Passenger side brake is down. It might be legal, but if it's legal, it's only by 32nd of an inch. It's low. This is the big one. There's two big ones. This is the big one. Passenger side rear, there's an oil leak, and it looks fresh. The whole side of the motor is soaked in oil. Running the whole way down. Not leaking on the ground or anything, but it looks like it's like if you ran and put your hand on it and run your finger across, it comes back with fresh oil. So there's a big oil leak on the back side, passenger side. That's getting looked at tomorrow. That's on my list. I'm telling them that's what's wrong with it. There's an oil leak, or there was an oil leak on the driver's side. It don't look like the motor itself's oil covered, but the spring, the leaf spring, it looks like an old leak. So it might have been something that was leaking and they fixed it and they just never cleaned the leak up. So it doesn't look like it's a fresh leak, but I put it down anyways. And then the what else was it? On the front drives on the passenger side, you got the two sets of drives, passenger and driver side. The front drives on the passenger side, it looks like the brakes are really low on there. They might be legal and they might not do anything, I don't know. I'll have them look at that too. So that's the thing, but the major thing's that oil leak. And that's a pretty major thing. I don't know where it's coming from. It looks like it's coming out of like the head or something maybe. Or from the top of the motor somewhere. But it's the whole side of the motor is I'll just take the camera out and show you instead of trying to explain it to you. I'll take out the camera here in a second and show it to you. And it's a 21, so what do you expect? It's got 515,000, but I'm not having a big oil leak like that, so they're going to look at that. So like I said, I haven't put anything in my truck because I don't know if I'm keeping this truck. We'll see. We'll see what they say tomorrow. But and I checked the oil level, and the oil level is low. Now I'm sitting on a hill, so I'm going to drive it around front tomorrow and let it sit. Or when they take it in the shop tomorrow, it's sitting on level ground. I'll have it checked and make sure. But I started up and let it run for like a good 45 minutes for an hour just to see if it overheat. It didn't overheat. It got to 180, 190. Everything kicked on, everything. So in like the hour that I left it run, it didn't overheat. I just started it, and I was checking out the trailer and stuff. So I went and hooked up to my trailer, hooked up the air lines, made sure the lights worked, make sure the tires were good, make sure the brakes were good. Everything looks good. Looked at the airbags, stuff like that. The inspection was good. So I'm pretty happy with the trailer. It's a 48-foot Fontaine. So I wanted the 48-foot, so that's what I got. I didn't have a choice, but that's what I wanted, and that's what I got. I just wish the truck would have been as good as the trailer was. That'd be ready to roll first thing in the morning. But we're going to take it in the shop tomorrow and get looked at. So that's what we got. We left out about 12 o'clock today from Birmingham. Shot over here, got here about 3:30, and it's probably like 6:30 now, 7 o'clock. I'm going to go get a hotel room, find something to eat, and get a shower because I am nasty. So that's what I found. Like I said, it's not a lot, but that oil leak, like if it was the other stuff without the oil leak, I'd be like, hey, no big deal. Fix the mirror, throw a shock on, maybe put some brakes on, good to go. And it seems like it runs decent, but you're just putting around the shop, so it's not like you're out at highway speeds. So I took it around the shop, took a couple laps around the shop, and you know, it's hard to say anything just by putting around the shop. But from what I putted around the shop, it seems like everything seems to be working all right there. So that's what we got. So we'll be back tomorrow. Take this thing in the shop, see what they got to say about it. I'll take my little list in to me because they said check everything out and bring a list back. Alright guys, so you can see that oil leak on the side of the motor there. But if you come up to the top, you can see that it's fresh the whole way up the side. Behind them two lines there, you see it leaking out. It's way up in there. So I'll put that on my list. And like I said, it's the whole way down. You can see it the whole way down to there. And then on the driver's side, you can see the frame. You can see right there, the whole frame's like soaked in oil. And then down on the spring itself, you can see the spring where it's soaked in oil. It looks like it's older though, so I don't know. You know what I mean? How about this one? Up in here looks pretty decent there, so there's no oil up in here at all that I can see anyways. But it might have been something that they fixed and then just never cleaned that up. So we are still over here in Atlanta, not technically Atlanta, but just east of Atlanta, at the CRST shop. I spent the night last night in the truck, woke up this morning, went in there and basically made a list of everything that I wanted checked. And they took it in the shop and they're working on it right now. So I don't know how long we're going to be. Hopefully not all day. I was hoping to get back to Birmingham and get securement equipment today, but it's only 9 in the morning, so we still got time. But as we drag on to the day, it's 10 in the morning. But the longer we get into the day, the more likely we won't get shit till Monday. I didn't want to do that. I wanted to have everything ready this weekend. We'll see what happens though. I don't know. The mirror thing, the plastic busted mirror, whatever, that's on back order and no one has any. So when they come in, which is nobody knows, they're going to replace it. But until then, I guess I got to drive it with nothing out there. Whatever. And then I put everything else on the list: the oil leak, the shock, the brakes. What else was there? Oh, the check engine light. That's a big one. The check engine light. I think that was it. I don't know. So they took it in the shop and it's been in there for almost 2 hours. So we'll see what happens, I guess. Just a little quick update. When I hear anything from the shop or when I get the truck or whatever, I'll let you guys know. But that's where we're at right now. So we're over here in Moody, Alabama. And my truck, they had my truck in the shop for like 3 hours. They brought it out and they said they put a new shock, which they did. I popped the hood and I checked everything. They put a new shock on. They said they ran a code and the code was an ambient temperature sensor, something to do with the windshield. But it's gone. They cleared it. I don't know if they fixed it or they cleared it, but it's gone. Check engine light hasn't been on since. They said the brakes are still DOT legal, so they're not going to do anything with that, which I didn't think they would. I knew that they were probably DOT legal, but I wanted to point that out. They were a little bit thinner. And then the big thing was the oil leak. They're claiming on the driver's side that someone spilled oil when they was filling it up, which makes sense. The passenger side, they said they cleaned it all up and they left it run for like an hour and it didn't overheat and it didn't leak. But they didn't say where they don't know where it's coming from. But after I got back, I ran it some that day and I kept checking it Friday. Then Saturday I drove over here, I checked it again and it's not leaking. So there's no leak as of, now it's been about 30 hours since it came out of the shop. Man, maybe it's pushing 2 days, day and a half. And there's still no leaking. So maybe it was a leak from something that they fixed before. I don't know. They didn't say it. They didn't really say what it was. They don't know what it is. They didn't want to know what it is. They didn't want to fix it. Whatever excuse they were coming up with. But needless to say, I'm going to keep an eye on it. They filled the, I don't know if they did, I don't think they did a PM, but they filled the oil up. So, and then I drove it over here. It seems to be driving fine. So I guess we're good to go with that. So anyways, I returned my car to the airport, and man, that day, it was like 12 o'clock when I took my car back to the airport. And then coming back from the airport, I thought I forgot my computer in my rental car because I didn't remember pulling it out of my rental car. Or I don't remember pulling it out of the rental car and putting it in the truck. And the whole way back, because it laid up on the passenger side floorboard on the thing, and you could have easily overlooked it. And I thought, man, I left my computer in the rental car. So when I got back to the truck, I told the Uber driver, I said, listen, I'll pay you cash money if you want to take me back to the airport. And he's like, what? And I said, I might have to go back and get my computer. I might have left it in the rental car. He's like, oh, that's not good. And I said, but I got to check my truck. If it's in my truck, I'm good to go. If it's not my truck, I need to go back because I got to get that computer. It's a laptop. It's like a $400 laptop, $300 laptop, something like that. So I had my trucker's GPS, but I used the GPS to go over to the airport. And I had that and my glasses. And they were sitting in the seat, and I got so excited to go check for the computer because I thought I was getting back in the Uber because I was for sure I left it in the thing in the rental car. So I jumped out of the rental car and left my GPS sitting on the back seat. Ran over to the truck, opened the door, and my computer's laying on the front seat of my truck. And I'm like, yes, I didn't forget it. But I forgot my GPS was on the back seat of the Uber car driver's car. And he left. And then I realized like 5 minutes after I left, I tried to call him, and Uber blocks the number. You can't call him. So I couldn't get a hold of the guy. I was mad. After thinking I lost my computer, then I lost my GPS. I was like, man, you gotta be crapping me. I was having a bad day. The best part of it was he went and picked someone else up, and he's seen it, and he called me like an hour and a half later and said, hey man, I got your GPS, I'm bringing it back. I said, I got cash for you when you get here, man. So I ended up giving him like $60 because $60 is way cheaper than 400 plus, because that's what it would cost me to replace it. 400, at least 400. I think they run like $450 plus tax, or it might have been $450 with tax. So he brought that back, and I gave him $60. I was like, man, I'm glad you brought that back. Man, I was worried. But all of that happened. Then I couldn't log on to my Maven, and I was having trouble getting on there. My truck was completely out of fuel. My diesel, the light was on. I had to drive to the top of the hill. Once I finally got my Maven figured out, drove to the top of the hill, filled up with diesel, a little dinky gas station that big trucks wasn't intended to be in. That was a joke. So I got back down, hooked on my trailer. It was 2:30, pushing 3 o'clock, and they shut down the Birmingham terminal at 4:30. And I'm like, I'm not gonna make that by 4:30. My goal was to get to Birmingham and get my securement equipment on Friday. That way I could have all weekend, the rest of the weekend, to get everything situated. That thing, first thing Monday morning, I get my first run and start running. But we're in Moody, Alabama right now, and I don't got no securement equipment. So first thing Monday morning, I'm driving to the terminal, getting that, and then I don't know what we're gonna do about a load. I don't know if I can get a load on Monday. Maybe get a load Monday afternoon. I don't know how that's gonna work. I don't know. It's been a rough weekend. So that's where we're sitting at right now. Just taking it easy in Moody. I might run over to Lowe's tomorrow. I need to get some 4x4s and stuff like that. I don't think I need a 34, but maybe I do. I don't know. I've used like 6-8 hours. I don't need a 34, but I figured since I was sitting here I'd get one. But if I do a 34, then I'd have to stop on Monday morning at Lowe's, which I guess I could do. I don't know what I'm doing yet, but I kind of need to stop and get some 4x4s. But I have no way to secure them because I've got no securement equipment. So I don't know how I'm going to transport them from Lowe's to the terminal because I don't got no way to strap them down. I ain't got no straps, I ain't got nothing like that. I don't know. So anyways, that's what we got. Hopefully this week's going to be better, because it was nerve-wracking this whole week and this weekend. So hopefully Monday's gonna be better. But that's what we got. We're here. I'm gonna stay here. I don't know what we're doing, like I said, tomorrow. We'll figure it out. But hopefully Monday morning, first thing, I get my securement equipment and I can get a load and get out of Alabama going somewhere so I can start getting paid. That's what we're here for anyways. So we'll go from there.